Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to your Thursday night team call. It is August, what is it, 13th already, 12th? The month is flying. So I just want to go through a little bit of recognition and then some updates, and then I'm going to quickly introduce our guest speaker, who I'm really excited to have join us. But really quick, we had 4 new emeralds this week. So huge shout out to Ashley Domingue, Laura Martin, Melissa Yant, and Janet Whalen. 4 new emeralds this week. Great job, guys. And I saw a ton of posts about people earning their call with Carl for hitting Success Club. I want you guys to know why that's such a big deal. Basically what that means is that when a coach signs up, in the same month they sign up, so let's say they signed up August or July 5th or 8th, within that month they hit Success Club 5. So this is a brand new coach just coming in. So it's a really big accomplishment. And so when you see that, definitely give them a pat on the back, say good job, and they're on their way to Success Starters, right? And Success Starters is when you hit Success Club 5 at least the first 3 months that you are a coach. And what happens then? The company gives you a free ticket to Summit next year in Nashville. So it's a really big deal. And it just, you know, when you start strong, things move at a really nice pace. So when you see things like that, it's always really exciting. So congratulations to everyone that earned their call with Carl. Okay, just a couple quick things and then we'll start. We have a sneak peek on Monday. The file section has the document that you send them the quick questionnaire and get their name in it. I want you guys to fill it. I don't want to see the same coaches putting people in the sneak peek, okay? So start inviting. There's a graphic, there's verbiage in the lab. If you need help, just ask your upline. So your call to action after this call is 5 new invites to the sneak peek, and all you have to say is, hey, Jen, I know we haven't chatted in a while, but my team is hosting what we call a sneak peek. It's basically a glimpse into what it is we do as coaches. It's 5 days, and you can check a private Facebook page at your convenience. Can I save you a spot? All you have to say, or something similar, okay? Don't overthink it. 5 new invites before bed. I'm gonna do it too. I have my list, I still have my list I'm working off of for the cup. So I will send 5 tonight with you guys. The cup is underway. So tomorrow everyone will get their emails for how you're doing. So if you're in our cup page, make sure you, the leader that started the group, the cup, make sure you tag everybody and put up your points. We're almost halfway through the month. So by now you should be at least at Success Club 3 minimal. If you're not at 3, we have to evaluate what's going on, right? So speak to your upline. Let's look at your invites. Let's see what the struggle is, okay? Some people have some really big goals. Some people are shooting for one of the top spots. So let's really cheer each other on in our August Wild Impact Team Cup. There's also going to be a webinar, 2 webinars the same night, the 26th. There will be an English version and a Spanish version. Julie and Maria Warren will be heading up our Spanish version. They will both be held at 9 p.m. Eastern on the 26th. There will be 2 different Zoom links provided to you. There is an event page, so feel free to use it. And if you know anyone that's Spanish speaking or you're Spanish speaking, start inviting to the Spanish webinar. We will have it recorded, and then we'll have another business tool for us, which is awesome. So I really appreciate Maria suggesting this, and for Julie Swanson to jump on board and do this together. I think this is really great for our team. Okay. With that being said, I want to introduce our guest speaker, 65 on the call. I'm going to get 100. I don't care. I'm getting it. Maybe not tonight, but I'm getting it. I'm going to figure out what I'm doing wrong or what we got to do better. Okay, I have to introduce my really good friend, Micki Fernandez, who is a 10-star diamond elite coach. She was an elite coach in 2013 and an elite coach in 2014. And guys, she's also a Success Club All-Star legend, which means this girl hits Success Club 10 every month, period. I mean, you don't get that title without hitting Success Club 10 every month. So Micki, we're really excited for you to share with us a little bit about turning kind of your struggles into kind of an empowering moment and not letting that kind of bog you down, but almost fuel you. I think we all have a story. We all have our ups and downs. And I think you're going to kind of put in perspective how when you look at it the right way, you can really turn that into something, it can be an advantage to you and how you fuel your business. So thank you for being here with us, and the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, Shane. Thank you so much. I feel really honored, guys, to be on tonight's call. I have a lot of passion when it comes to sharing stories and how to embrace our struggles, right? But before I do that, let me just tell you who I am, because all the accolades really doesn't really mean, not that it doesn't mean much, but just so you can understand where my passion comes from, and my passion comes from my struggles. So I am the eldest of three. I was raised by a single mom. I had a deadbeat dad who gambled pretty much all his life. He gambled our home away, and we were pretty much thrown to the to the curb. So at the young age of 12, I started working with my mom at a factory to help her pay bills. So when my friends were out having a good time, I was in a factory. And I remember I used to get paid $75 a week. That was a lot of money for a 12-year-old. And that was many decades ago, by the way. And I gave every last penny to my mom because I saw how hard she worked. She was a seamstress, and she would bring work home. And then I also worked from home to help her as well. My mom was a really tough cookie. My mom was born and raised in the Dominican Republic. I'm a Latina, and she was very, very strict with me. And so she was playing the roles of both mom and dad. So I pretty much couldn't do a lot. So I decided at the age of 19 that I was going to get married. So I got married really young. I used to be very ashamed to share the fact that I went through 2 failed marriages. And fast forward to today, it's all served an amazing purpose, So raised by a single mom, a deadbeat dad, 2 failed marriages. My first husband is a cancer survivor, and my second husband unfortunately lost his battle to cancer 4 years ago. A lot of people don't know this part of my story because I was ashamed to share that. But I realized that it all had purpose. Like everything we go through in life is to serve a higher power. And it was my faith that got me through it all. When I was a young kid, I realized now that I was a visionary at a very young age. I'm a firm believer that no vision, no future. When there's no vision, there's no future. And if you don't have vision, you will perish. And I remember going to the bank with my mom as a young kid and always telling her that I was going to be a boss one day. And I did become a boss. I was managing one of the largest branches for Citibank here in New York City. I loved what I did because I love serving people. I have a servant's heart. So anytime someone needs of me, I willingly say yes. It's just in my DNA. But corporate America got really, really toxic. It was a very toxic environment where I was not a happy camper. So I don't know how many of you on the call work full-time jobs and whether you're happy there. Yeah, I see Monique is raising her hand and Maria. I had a very lucrative position at the bank. I had a nice mid-6-figure salary, all kinds of benefits, but I was miserable. I was not happy. So in 2009, I joined Beachbody, and I say I joined because I think by now we probably all know that we have 2 dates with Beachbody: the day we joined and the day we started working the business. And I pretty much sat on my butt for 2 years because Beachbody for me was just a hobby, because I had this great position at my job. So it was just a great stress reliever for me. So fast forward, to about 3 years ago, I was in a place where I didn't like myself any longer. I was not happy where I was at. I was working 80 hours a week, and I was miserable. I was really, really miserable. It was affecting my health. I remember, just like it was yesterday, my mom has all types of health conditions, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my current struggles and how I've used that struggle to shed light and to give hope to other people. Because sometimes, I don't know, I think I may be talking to a couple of you on this call tonight. And Shane, we're at 72. We're getting there. We are getting there, Shane. We're getting there.
Only because it's you.
No, not at all. Not at all. I want to let my hair down in a little bit because I feel like I'm being too serious right now. It's not my personality. I'm always all over the place. I'm always all over the place. But I just didn't like who I was becoming. I was just a very miserable person. And I've always been a very respectful woman, because it was my upbringing to be very respectful to those that were in authority and those that were older than me. And I knew it was time for a change when I cursed my boss out. Like that wasn't me. Here I was rated one of the top branch managers for Citibank here in New York City, and he was still putting a gun to my head because he wanted to know how many, my numbers. I mean, you were only as good as your last sale. It didn't matter what you did last year. It didn't matter that I was rated a top employee last year. It's what did you do for me today? What did you do for me today? And I just totally lost it, and pretty much told him to shove this job where the sun doesn't shine, and I still didn't get fired. I'm like, damn, I still didn't get fired, but I knew it was time for me to make that decision, and I remember I took a piece of paper and I wrote down my pros and my cons. And this is something really powerful that I'm going to share with you, because every time that I share this part of my story, I still can't believe that I took such a huge leap of faith when I left Citibank. As I told you before, I had this, huge salary. I had a really nice salary, but my first year as a Beachbody coach, full time, I only made $35,000. So, I went from 130,000 and I dropped down to 35,000. Ouch. Like, how did I do that? So I had to make a decision. What were my needs and what were my wants, and I realized that I had a lot of wants. I think we all do. Like, we have it. Like, do you really need this or do you really want it? So I had to cut out a lot of things. And this business really taught me discipline. It taught me to be disciplined with my money. So here, for 27 years in banking, I was helping everyone with their finances, yet I didn't have a freaking pot to piss on. Because the more money I made, the more money I spent. That's just the way it worked for me. And again, this is all part of my story that I used to be ashamed to share. I really was ashamed to share. Not any longer, clearly not, because I'm just sharing this with you right now. And it's so important for us to share how we overcome our struggles, because sometimes we think, we could be drowning in a glass of water. I don't know if you've ever gone through that before, but I know I have. Where you drown yourself in a glass of water because you don't see the light. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I am a woman of purpose, and we were all created for a purpose. Like, before you were born, the purpose was created, and with the purpose came your struggles. They were all part of the package. Like, when you arrived, all those struggles came with you. Because we have to overcome that in order for us to become the person that a higher power created you for. So once I started understanding that, I started embracing that. This is the reason why, oh my God, why am I getting hot? This is the reason why when I hear coaches that are overcoming things, I say smile, because that means there's a huge blessing coming around the corner. And this business is the business that's going to get you out of whatever hellhole you're living in right now. Okay. So don't run away from it, because that's what happens to a lot of us. You know, we have some bug up our asses because something's not working, and then we hide. Like, you know what? I can't do this business. I'm just too stressed. But see, life is not about us. And I forget who says it. You know, when you focus on helping other people and you focus on helping other people achieve their goals, it's going to turn around and come back to you. But many of us live in this mentality, like this selfish mentality, like it's all about me. And you know what? It's not about you. It's about you helping other people. Like, you know, I bumped into a friend of mine not too long ago, and I'm bouncing back and forth. Like I had a list of things I wanted to tell you, but I'm like, screw that. I'm just going to talk whatever the spirit convicts me to share with you, because maybe there's somebody out there that needs to hear part of my crazy ass story. I'm going to share it. So anyhow, I bumped into a friend of mine I had not seen in a hot minute. And she said to me, you see how I'm warming up now? And she said to me, you know, Micki, you know, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm like, you know, how do I explain how my life is right now? All I know is that if I were to be called today, if God were to call me today, I left a legacy behind. How's that for an answer? Like, you got to think about, like, what is it that's driving you? Because that's the reason why a lot of coaches hide, because you haven't found that why that makes you cry. You know, that ugly cry, like that really ugly cry. Like you don't want nobody to see you. That's the ugly cry. And you know what's going to happen when you overcome one struggle? You better get ready for another one, because the reason you overcame that is to get you stronger for the next one that's going to come. It's life. This life here is never going to be perfect. So if you think that you're going to have this perfect beach body opportunity, I'm here to tell you it's not going to happen. It's just not, you know. I was in another team call last Tuesday, and, you know, I shared with that team and I said, listen, I'm not a top coach. I don't make millions of money, but I'll tell you one thing I have freaking heart, and I have a lot of damn conviction. That I have. And I like to share the kind of stuff that I've gone through so that I can share with other people, so you can see that really it's not that bad. It's really not that serious, you know? The last 2 months for me have been really, really tough, okay? I busted my ass 2 months ago, and I broke my wrist. Yeah, and it wasn't like, oh yeah, you know, I broke it, put it in a cast. No, I have a plate and 4 screws holding up my wrist. And I will tell you that it was painful. You want to talk about pain? That was painful. And I never questioned why did this happen to me? Because you know, you're quick to say, really? Why? Like, why is this happening to me? Just when I was in the right role, like things were just coming smooth for me. Now this crap happens. It's part of the package, remember? It's part of the package. But I remember that night right after my surgery, when the numbness, you know, wore out, and now the pain really kicked in, and Vicodin wasn't working. Like, Vicodin was not working. I don't know if anyone on this call has ever taken Vicodin, but that thing is cray-cray. Like it just, like, I took it and I'm like, okay, it's not kicking in. And it says I have to wait another 4 to 6 hours. I ain't waiting 4 to 6 hours. I need more drugs now. And you know what I did? I took more, and then I thought I was having a heart attack. Like, I was sweating. I had sweat coming down the crack of my ass. Like, it was bad. It was bad, guys. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that I keep it real all the time. I don't sugarcoat anything, you know. And that was part, you know what? That was part of my personality that I used to hide also. Because I didn't want I would always fear that I don't want people to judge me. But you know what? It's who I am. This is me. Take it or leave it. Like, this is who I am. It's my DNA. Like, I was created this way. But anyhow, I got on my knees. And I started, I did that ugly cry, but that ugly, painful cry, you know, and I looked up and I'm like, you know, God, like, I need you to come down from the heavens and take this pain away. Because, you know, sometimes we do that, right? Like, we want, like, that microwave effect. bam, we wanted to go away. But it didn't work. It didn't go away. But I held on to him. I held on to my faith. Which is another thing that I used to be a holder backer on. I would hold back on my faith because oh, maybe people think I'm a Jesus freak or anything. I don't care if you think I'm a Jesus freak. That dude saved me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did. So I held on to him. I held on to him. The pain didn't go away, but it was a much smoother sailing. It was a much smoother sailing. And even throughout that pain, I was still sending out my invites. I was still showing up for my business because I got bills to pay and I have a big why. And recently my why is so far up my ass that I don't have time to waste. I really don't. I don't have time to waste. And what that did is I taught my team that you fight through pain. You get through it. I'm sure you guys have those coaches that, like, I'm not hitting Success Club. Well, how many invites did you send out? Oh, well, I had to do X, Y, and Z, so I didn't get a chance to invite today. Really? And you're complaining that you have 0 Success Club points. Here, I've got freaking 30, whatever in my arm, not stitches, whatever I had in my arm. And I'm still inviting because one hand is working. So we got to look at the glass half full, not half empty. And that's what I did. Every day I was pushing through. And even with my exercises, I still can't believe how I can move my hand. But even going through therapy was painful. And so I explained that even through the invite process, it could be painful sometimes when people say no to you. And no one likes to be rejected. Nobody likes no's, but the more you do it, you're going to get closer to that yes, even though it hurts. And that's what was going on with me with this pain. You know what I mean? Like everything that I go through, like I even told my team on Monday night's call, I'm like, my purpose, my why is bigger than my team. Like it's outside of Team Eagle. That's the name of my team. It's outside of this Team Eagle. I will help any coach in this organization that reaches out to me because it's all part of my purpose. So that's why when Shane reached out to me, and I felt really bad because I had to keep putting it off, but because of things that were happening, so I get over this. The doctor's really impressed. I still can't do a freaking push-up. So I'm stuck with size. I love size. And I'm going to talk to you about how size is helping my business. But right after I get back from Summit, I got back from Summit on Sunday. Wednesday morning, 10:30 in the morning, I caught my mom having a stroke. This is what this business has done for me. Listen, there's nothing wrong with getting paid good money. We all need money, okay? But it's beyond that. It's beyond that. This business has given me the opportunity to be here with my mother and take care of her. When I think about at the time that this happened, and I would have still been at Citibank, my mother would have been 6 feet under or in a vegetative state the way my father spent 7 years of his life. And that's another chapter of my life. We all have different chapters, where I took care of him for 7 years where he was stuck to a machine. And by the grace of God and the business opportunity here, this amazing business opportunity that brought me home to take care of her. And even through all this, guys, I still showed up. Don't allow struggles to stop you. They're meant to build you up. They're meant to make you a badass CEO. Look how many times Carl Deichler has failed. That dude has gone, I don't know, I forget how many ventures he's gone through, And you think it's easy for him right now? Hell no. Of course not. I'm sure he's still overcoming stuff, but the dude is still showing up. If you guys were at Summit, I forget, I was in the blue track. And I think it was that Saturday where he spoke about, not being a holder backer. I don't know if you guys were at that track, but, He got that from me, by the way. So I need to trademark that stuff. Anyway, but I use that all the time. And I tell people, don't be a holderbacker. Why are you holding back on sharing this business opportunity with other people? It's beyond a freaking challenge pack. It's beyond a Shakeology. It really is. You know, I don't know if there's any Latinos on this call here, but I'm going to give you a little bit of Latino 101 right now. You know, in the hood where I live, because I live in the hood in New York City, I used to be ashamed to say I live in the hood, but you know what? I'm not ashamed anymore because God, you know, you got to prosper where you're planted, by the way. Prosper where you're planted. And in due time, he will move you. But anyway, so back to the hood. So what I'm saying is that in the hood, there's these little stores. They're called bodegas, okay? So in the bodegas, the front of the store looks like it's a little store. You know, they sell milk, you know, bread, you know, the essentials. But you walk all the way to the back, those dudes are selling drugs. They're selling all kinds of stuff back there. Illegal lottery stuff, you know? So I always tell people, listen, my beach party business is like a bodega. When you come through the front, you think you're going to lose weight. But when you get to the back, you will open up the back door. I'm going to introduce you to purpose. That's what it's about. Beach party is a front. I'm telling you, it's a front. It's deeper than that. It really, really is. I'm telling you, like, I'm a freaking lifer. I really am, you know. In addition to, you know, to being there, you know, for my mom, I mean, I'm almost, you know, debt free, which is an amazing blessing. And by being almost debt free, you know, I'm partnering up with my spiritual mentor. I'm part of his ministry, and you know, I have this huge vision. It's a huge goal. It scares me, but I share it because it scares me. Because the more I say it, the more it's gonna come to life. So that's you've got to write down your goals. And if they don't scare you, like if they don't make you go to the bathroom, I'm sorry, you are not dreaming big enough. Okay? You're not dreaming big enough. But, you know, my huge vision is to have, you know, I'm going to have this huge transformation center where I'm going to have retreats, spiritual retreats. I'm going to have, you know, retreats for my team, and I can do the fit clubs, and, you know, people can come in and, you know, like, Micki, you know, can I have conference room number A? I want to have this team meeting. Yeah, go ahead. You know, like, it's that big. And every time I say it, I'm like, that's kind of scary, Micki. You have a lot of lives to change. So I do, you know, and so I'm putting it out there and looking for leaders, you know, to join. And all that, it's not even about me, right? When you focus on helping other people, right? Because this business, the more people you help, the more you're going to get blessed financially, right? And then when you get blessed financially, like, what are you doing? Are you helping the poor? Like, what are you doing? You got to help the underprivileged, man. You start doing that, you will be blessed 100-fold. I'm telling you. And I'm saying that because I've seen it come to life in me, you know. I want you to know that I prayed before tonight's call, you know, and I pray that God use me as his vehicle to share my story with you guys and share how, you know, my struggles were allowed by him so that I can continue to be a blessing and continue to be a light to other people. And that's why, you know, I was sharing about size. Anybody doing size in here? Yeah, Monique? So it's, you know what? Sean pissed me off yesterday, but that's another story because I couldn't do chandelier. I bet you if I was hanging from a chandelier, I would have done better. But I love size, and I'm really sharing my crazy videos that I put out there every single day. And and I'm sharing this with you because I had such a huge aha moment this past week. And I feel that I need to deliver that to so many people, okay? There's a lot of people living in darkness, guys. There's a lot of people living in darkness. Like, we're the solution to a lot of people's problems, you know? Like, many of you, that I'm sure there's many of you right now that you're probably in a place like you're undecided, you're not too sure what you should do. Should I work this business? You know, should I take this serious? You know, but all I'm telling you is this, that your problem, whatever you're going through right now, when you overcome that, your problem becomes a solution for somebody else. That's what happens, you know? And that's why, you know, when I do size, I do have a funny DNA in me. I mean, it's just who I am. And I love to make people laugh. Like, I'm feeding off your energy, and I'm seeing some stuff in the chat going on. I love it. And that fuels my fire. It fulfills my purpose. I'm like, yes, I am exactly where God wants me to be, you know? I could have easily told Shane, Shane, I have an early flight tomorrow morning. I can't do it. That would have been me before. But when you're so connected to your purpose and what you are called to do, there's no excuses. You just show up. You show up. So back to my size video. I go back and forth a lot. That's how come I can't follow an agenda. I just can't. In sharing size, I've had people reach out to me because they've been following my crazy videos. And I signed up 3 coaches this past week because they're all in a dark place. And they come to my wall to laugh because they need that. One young lady said to me, Micki, I'm going through this really horrible divorce. Everything in my life is going wrong. She goes, I need something to make me happy. And she goes, and you're just having so much fun. Like, I need that in my life. Can you help me? Can I help her? Oh my God. Like that it just filled me, Then I had, I'm sure you have challengers who just like disappear from your challenge groups. You guys have any of those? I did a SmackDown video for them this past week in a very loving way, to share with them that I know the reason they're hiding. They're hiding because they're in a dark place. I've been there. I know. I said, listen, guys, when I was 70 pounds overweight, I can guarantee you it wasn't by drinking Shakeology every day. It was those damn freaking Oreo cookies I used to eat every damn day. That's how my ass got so big. You know what I mean? So I was in a dark place. So I went to food for comfort because food made me feel good, And I just put it out there. I had 2 of them that came back to life. One signed up as a coach, the other one just, continued. But, and I look back and I'm like, I had to go through my struggles. Like, I would not be able to speak with that type of conviction if I had not gone through those struggles. Yeah, I can't have Oreo cookies in my house. It pisses me off when my mom still buys them for the kids. Like, stop it with the Oreo cookies. But yeah, your struggles, listen, at the end of the day, we all have choices. Whether you've made good choices, whether you made bad choices, #own it. You got to own it. Okay? Those choices are why you're on the Zoom call today. Those choices led you to the Zoom call. Think about that. We gotta own the decisions that we've made, because we're so quick to, like, point the finger at other people, like, so why is this happening to me? Like, I could have done that especially with my second marriage, my second husband was living a double life. He had 2 other relationships outside of our marriage, 2 families outside of our marriage, and I couldn't have kids. But you know what? At the end, I was with him till the end, till he took his last breath. You know what I mean? Like, it all served a purpose, and at the end of the day, I know that he went to be with the Lord because I brought him back to the Lord, so that was the purpose. But I'm not a victim. I wasn't going to become a victim to that, was that the right choice for me to be in that relationship? No, because we see signs. I don't know why am I sharing this? This has nothing to do with it, but I'm just sharing. Okay. Sometimes, I don't know, I think I'm talking to somebody. Sometimes we're in a relationship, and this has nothing to do with a freaking business. I'm sorry, Shane.
Everyone is saying, I need you in my life. I love you. This is great. You're hilarious. I'm thinking you can keep going.
Okay. All right. we make choices, and sometimes, you know, what the enemy intends to, you know, to break us is exactly what God's going to use to build you back up. Because that's what happened to me. You know, there were many signs that, you know, God was giving me, like, hello, hey, knucklehead, hello. You know, I had the blinders on and I refused to see that. But it's all good because it turned around, you know, for good. My purpose was delayed because of those choices. But they've made me who I am today, you know, and that's why you guys are loving my craziness right now. So, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You know, like embrace your struggles, guys. They were created on purpose for you. They really were, and you have what it takes to overcome it. Otherwise, it would have not been given to you if you didn't have it in you.
And I just read someone write, you know, Micki, we're the same. You're just like us, guys. Exactly her point. And here she is, a 10-star diamond, 2-time elite coach, almost debt-free. And you just heard that story. What is the difference? What is our excuse? Why don't we #own it? Ask yourself that, because you're the only one that can answer that. I'm the only one that can answer that for myself. We might have ideas why some of our downline is struggling, that sort of thing, but only you know what's really holding you back. Only you know why you're putting that reason in front of that why that why isn't enough. So thank you for sharing that, Micki, about like your why has to be so ridiculous that it honestly causes you to feel sick. Mm-hmm. When I think of mine, I actually feel sick. In a good way, guys. Is that really ever going to happen to me way? But what? So what if it doesn't? Okay. So it doesn't, that whole thing doesn't happen. But what if it does? Why can't it? And why not? Why not me? Why not you? Why is it Micki? Did you break your wrist? Did you lose family members? Are you caring for your mom? No, maybe not. But maybe you have other obstacles. And the difference is what we do with those struggles. They break you, and you either quit or you stop. The two biggest mistakes anyone on this call will ever make. And I say that when I see coaches leave, I always say, I'm so sorry to see you go. And I wish you well. I'm so sorry to see you go. Because I know what they just walked away from. And I'm sure some of you on this call have thought of leaving. And coaches that are watching the replay because they're not on this call, because they're not making it big enough commitment, are probably considering leaving. You know, and that's everybody's choice and why we're risk-free. And I tell everyone, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to get healthier. But if it's not for you, you walk away. But I would be so sorry to see anybody go without saying I gave it 100%. At the very least, you say, I'm going to give it 100%. I'm going to give 1 year of my time and 100%. No, not 70%. Oh, I did some team calls and I invited and I was on this. No. 100%. And then if it's truly not a good fit, you walk away. But I don't know any individuals who have given it 100% and have ever walked away from something so life-changing as this. I mean, talk about being a lifer. Nick, I'm with you. And I know, I mean, every face, I always look around like, who's on the call? And I'm so excited when I see people. And you guys are lifers. I truly do believe that, because honestly, there's how many coaches in Wild Impact, and there's 70 on the call. Okay, where's everybody else? So I commend you guys on being here, and hopefully that's because you get it and you see the bigger picture and you're not a holder backer. I love that. Any questions for Micki? Oh my God, the chat's blowing up. So let's go through it, Micki.
Sure.
A lot of thank yous. I totally agree. So straight up and down to earth. Thank you. Keep it real. Don't be a holder backer. Do you have Periscope? Katie Fuller wants to know if you have Periscope.
Yes, I responded to that already.
Awesome.
Oh, Janet.
Any questions, guys? Who's camping? Janet. We're in our RV camping. Would not have missed this call for nothing.
Awesome. guys are.
Trisha, I love that I have Wi-Fi in the mountains. You guys are the best. It is vacation season. Awesome.
Thank you for the feedback.
Thank you for being so real with us. I know that wasn't easy. I'm actually a little speechless. There's not much anyone can say after hearing all of that, because I certainly haven't had half of those struggles. And so, I mean, I just think that speaks to, who you are and your leadership and why obviously I wanted you on the call. And
thank you.
You're
Thank
awesome.
you.
And I can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, leadership, right?
Yeah.
And that was, my Fast and Furious, guys, because, there's so much crap in between that has happened. But, I want to challenge you guys, because this is what really helped me, if that's okay, Shane, if I just have maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Of course.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to challenge you with. I don't know if you've guys written out your story or not, but that's what really helped me start working this business. Like, when I identified that power statement, that's like when shit hit the ceiling. Like, like I gotta make stuff happen. You know what I mean? And I started working closely with corporate, and the gentleman that I was working with back then, Nathan, he asked me to write my story. And I'm like, all right, fine. I had my story already, part of it written out, because I had gone through the annulment process in my first marriage, and that's one of the things that I had to do. So even my annulment process had a purpose, because I use that now as an example to tell people, you've got to write out your story. So they gave me a format. I wrote out my story. I shared it with Nathan. He felt that it was very powerful. He goes, now let's get that power statement. That's that statement that whether you're having a good or bad day, you're going to go for it. I'm like, great. I want financial freedom. And he's like, that's nice. That's a goal. He said, that's not a power statement. I'm like, okay. He said, so then he went on and he started, drilling down, asking me why I wanted financial freedom. So I'm like, well, who doesn't want financial freedom? And he goes, well, why does Micki want financial freedom? I'm like, because I don't want to be held down to debt. I want to feel free. Okay, why do you want to feel free, Micki? And I'm like, because I need to take care of my mother. He goes, why do you want to take care of your mother? And I'm like, because she sacrificed so much for me and my siblings that I feel it's my turn now to spoil her. Why do you want to spoil her, Micki? Why is that important to you? And I'm like, and now you're pissing me off because you're asking me a lot of damn questions. I didn't tell him that, but I thought about that though. So then he kept drilling and drilling, and then I broke down crying. And I was so embarrassed. I'm like, why am I crying? He goes, because that's your why that wants to come out. You just haven't verbalized it, but it's got to come out. So he goes, so I challenge you now, write down, 5 words that people would describe you, and then go back and read your story again. And with the story, with those 5 words, you'll come up with that power statement. So that whole week, I was just praying. I'm like, all right, JC, like, why did you create me? Like, I need to know now. I have a homework assignment and it's due on Monday and I don't have an answer for this guy. It was so funny. But I remember it was that Sunday before my call with Nathan, and I was at church and I was praying, like, okay, this is due tomorrow. Why did you create me for? And it was like this still voice that came to my heart, and it said, messenger of hope. And I'm like, oh God, and like, it just hit me. I'm like, yes, that's it. I am a messenger of hope. That's what I'm called to do. And that's why I love anchors. I'm always wearing anchors, because hope, when you see an anchor, it stands for hope. And, God is my anchor. And through him, I've been able to, get through it all. And giving other people hope, people that have had deadbeat dads, who don't know how to forgive, right? Because if you have unforgiveness in your heart, it's going to be hard for you to excel in life. It's going to be hard for you. You have to let that go. Okay. And I'm able to help women, going through divorces, I'm able to work now with people who are taking care of elderly parents all through my story, so write out your story. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not, because it's going to bring up a lot of pain maybe from your past that you're that you have hidden really deep, and you have rooted it. So you've got to pull that, you got to pull that out. Because sometimes that's what holds you back, guys. It's something in your past. You have not been able to overcome something in your past, and you got to let it go. And once you let that go, you'll be free, and you'll just be able to be who you were created to be, and just live a life of purpose and passion, guys. So write out your story. It's powerful.
Agree. I used to talk to Nathan too.
Awesome.
That was a tough assignment.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you for being you and being here. And please share this call with your teams. I will get it up by the morning, and it will be in the file section. 5 invites to the business app. Don't be a holder backer. Share people this gift that we have. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you,
Thank
Micki.
you so much.
Thank you.